Did you know that being highly sensitive is a genetic trait found in about 20% of the population? That's 1 in 5 people wired to notice the details others miss, process information deeply, and feel emotions intensely. This isn't just a quirk, it's a superpower, and science backs it up. Studies reveal that highly sensitive people, HSPs, have heightened neural activity in areas linked to empathy and intuition. But here's the surprising part. Many HSPs struggle in traditional workplaces because the world often rewards speed and boldness over thoughtfulness and depth. Sound familiar? If so, you're not alone, and you're not stuck. This video will show you how HSPs can thrive in unexpected careers, lead with quiet confidence, and even avoid burnout while advancing. Whether you've been told you're too sensitive or doubted your place in a fast-paced world, we're flipping that narrative. You'll see why sensitivity isn't just helpful, it's what makes you unstoppable. Chapter 1: The Power of Sensitivity. Why HSPs are wired for success. Being highly sensitive isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Dr. Elaine Aron, author of The Highly Sensitive Person, estimates that 15 to 20% of the population falls into this category. That's not rare, it's just selective. Evolutionarily, HSPs acted as early warning systems for their communities. That vigilance still applies today. HSPs excel in environments that value attention to detail. Studies show they outperform others in jobs requiring accuracy, like research, analysis, and quality control. They're also deeply empathetic, making them natural problem solvers in roles requiring interpersonal finesse. A common misconception is that sensitivity equals fragility. But think about this, being highly attuned to your environment means you can spot opportunities and risks before others even notice. It's like having a career sixth sense. For example, an HSP marketer may pick up subtle shifts in audience behavior others might miss. Pro tip: to make your sensitivity work for you, choose roles that reward deep thinking. Fields like counseling, writing, and data analytics are great options. And don't underestimate creative roles. HSPs often excel in design, where their eye for detail and nuance shines. Chapter 2: Career Paths that Thrive on Sensitivity. Unlikely jobs for HSPs. People often assume HSPs need quiet, low-stress jobs. But the truth is, some of the best roles for HSPs are dynamic and collaborative. The key is finding work that aligns with your values and strengths. For example, many HSPs thrive in healthcare. While fast-paced, it's also rewarding because it plays into their natural empathy. A nursing study published in Medical Care revealed that empathetic practitioners scored higher in patient satisfaction and care outcomes. That's an HSP win. Creative industries also love sensitive souls. HSPs excel in fields like film editing, music production, and photography. These careers require noticing subtleties that make or break the final product. The late Steve Jobs once said, "Details matter. It's worth waiting to get it right." That's the HSP mantra. Less expected? Public relations. While it might seem stressful, PR requires deep listening and nuanced messaging, 2 areas where HSPs shine. For example, crafting a response to a crisis often demands emotional intelligence and precision. That's where an HSP's ability to sense the tone of a room becomes invaluable. Pro tip: try informational interviews before committing to a field. Talk to someone who works in an area that interests you. HSPs are great listeners, so use that skill to uncover insights about different careers. Chapter 3: Avoiding Career Burnout. How HSPs can thrive without overload. Here's the thing. HSPs can be prone to burnout because they absorb everything: sounds, emotions, even fluorescent lights. But there are ways to work smarter, not harder. First, set sensory boundaries. This could mean noise-canceling headphones in open offices or a small desk plant to create a calming environment. Research from the University of Exeter found that plants in workplaces increase productivity by 15%. They also reduce stress, which HSPs appreciate. Second, embrace focused workflows. Multitasking is the enemy of productivity, especially for HSPs who process deeply. Instead, Use the Pomodoro technique, 25-minute work bursts with 5-minute breaks. It prevents overstimulation and keeps you refreshed. Workplace culture matters, too. HSPs do better in inclusive, collaborative environments. If your workplace feels overwhelming, consider discussing flexible schedules or remote work options. A 2021 study by FlexJobs found that 97% of remote workers reported increased happiness and reduced stress. That's a win for sensitive souls. Lastly, practice energy management. Think of your energy as a battery. Schedule tasks that require intense focus in the morning when you're sharpest, and save easier tasks for later. Protect your off time fiercely. As Dr. Aaron advises, self-care isn't a luxury, it's survival for HSPs. Pro tip: don't underestimate recovery rituals. Whether it's meditation, yoga, or just a walk in the park, find what helps you recharge. It's not wasted time, it's an investment in your well-being. Don't miss out. If you're finding these strategies helpful, hit subscribe to stay updated. We're diving into more tips on how HSPs can lead fulfilling careers and lives. Let's grow together. Chapter 4: Sensitive Leadership. Quietly powerful ways to lead as an HSP. Leadership isn't always about being loud and bold. Sometimes, the best leaders are the ones who listen deeply, act thoughtfully, and lead with empathy, traits that come naturally to HSPs. But how can you step into leadership without feeling overwhelmed? Let's break it down. Start with active listening. Research from Harvard Business Review found that leaders who prioritize listening are perceived as more trustworthy and competent. For HSPs, this is a natural strength. Use it to your advantage during meetings, one-on-ones, or brainstorming sessions. Next, lean into your emotional intelligence. Studies from TalentSmart show that 90% of top-performing leaders have high emotional intelligence, EQ. HSPs are particularly good at reading the room, sensing tension, and understanding team dynamics. Use this to diffuse conflicts or offer tailored support to your team. Delegation can be tricky for HSPs because they often prefer to do it all. But effective leadership means trusting others. Try starting small. Delegate a single task and focus on guiding rather than micromanaging. The ripple effect? You'll have more bandwidth to focus on big picture goals. Pro tip: create rituals that ground you before high pressure situations. Whether it's deep breathing or writing key talking points, preparation helps you stay centered and confident. Chapter 5: Networking that doesn't drain you. HSP-friendly ways to build connections for HSPs. Traditional networking events can feel like sensory overload. Crowded rooms, constant small talk, and superficial conversations? No, thank you. But networking is crucial for career growth, so how can you do it in a way that feels authentic and energizing? Start by reframing the word networking. Instead of thinking about it as selling yourself, think of it as building relationships. HSPs thrive in meaningful conversations, so focus on quality over quantity. A single deep connection can be more impactful than 20 surface-level interactions. Pro tip: follow up with a personalized message after meeting someone. Mention a topic you discussed or share a resource related to their interests. It shows that you're engaged and thoughtful, qualities people appreciate. Chapter 6: Career Confidence for HSPs. Transforming sensitivity into self-assurance. Confidence is often seen as a loud, brash quality, but it doesn't have to be. For HSPs, confidence comes from owning your sensitivity and using it to your advantage. Learn the art of self-advocacy. HSPs often avoid speaking up about their needs, but advocating for yourself is key to career growth. Start small. Practice asking for flexible hours or more clarity on a project. These wins build momentum. Pro tip: create a wins folder on your computer. Save positive emails, performance reviews, or notes of appreciation from colleagues. On tough days, revisit this folder to remind yourself of your impact. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe. We're here to show you how to thrive as an HSP, both in your career and your life. Let's build a community where sensitivity is celebrated and empowered.